Hello everyone. Today, let's cover two climates together, tropical monsoon and tropical marine. And this pairing matters because students often remember both as simply hot and wet tropics. That is exactly how marks get lost. By the end, you should be able to answer the real question the examiner cares about. What exactly makes tropical marine different from tropical monsoon? Start with location. The tropical marine climate is found along the eastern margins of continents in the tropics. That is why it is also called the trade wind littoral climate. Littoral simply means coastal. The key regions shown here are Central America and the West Indies, Eastern Brazil, the Guinea coast, East Africa and Madagascar, the Philippines, and Northeast Australia. Now here is the trick. Think of the trade winds hitting a wall. If it is an east coast in the tropics, roughly between 10 degrees and 25 degrees north or south, it is likely to show tropical marine conditions. That one rule solves more map questions than blind memorization ever will. Now understand the rainfall engine. This climate works because trade winds travel long distances over warm oceans, pick up moisture, and then move onshore. When that moist air hits the eastern highlands, it is forced upward. That is orographic uplift. Air rising because relief blocks its path. As the air rises, it cools, condenses, and gives heavy rainfall on the windward slope. So the rainfall here is not random. It is driven by two things together: steady onshore trade winds plus topography. The annual rainfall is usually around 120 to 200 centimeters. And the mechanism is mixed, orographic plus convectional, especially with stronger summer heating. This is not monsoon reversal. This is steady maritime feeding. Now we come to the critical difference, the one most aspirants miss. Tropical monsoon has a clear wet season and a clear dry season. It practically holds its breath during the dry months. Tropical marine also has a summer maximum in rainfall, but it does not have a distinct dry season. That difference is everything. Both may show more rain in summer, but only one of them stays moist through the year. So when you see rainfall throughout the year with a summer peak, do not rush to call it monsoon. That is weak preparation. The examiner is looking for this exact distinction. Summer maximum does not automatically mean monsoon. Now take the climatic character as a whole. This climate stays hot and humid throughout the year. Temperatures remain steadily high and the annual temperature range is small. That means there is no dramatic seasonal temperature contrast like temperate regions. This makes the region lush but not harmless, because the same warm oceans that supply moisture also create vulnerability to cyclones, hurricanes, and typhoons. These are regionally different names for the same tropical storm system. So the climate is favorable for habitation because the trade winds are steady and moisture is reliable. But the cost is severe tropical storm risk. That is why this belt is productive and dangerous at the same time. Now move to the economy. And this is where the tropical marine belt becomes a plantation powerhouse. The first crop is sugarcane. Its deep roots suit these moist tropical regions, especially in Brazil, the West Indies, Cuba, and Jamaica. Then comes coffee. Brazil alone accounts for about half of world production, and coffee thrives especially on highland slopes. Then Manila hemp, which is associated with the Philippines and used for high-quality rope. So the broad picture is clear. Steady rainfall and warmth support major plantation crops. That is why These regions become the sugar and caffeine bowls of the world. Economic geography begins with climate, always. Now shifting cultivation. But here the examiner usually tests it through names. Shifting cultivation is the slash and burn system in which forest is cleared, used briefly, then abandoned, and cultivation shifts elsewhere. The names vary by region, and this is a classic prelims trap. Ladang, Malaysia. Tongya, Burma. Tamrai, Thailand. Changin, Philippines. Huma, Java. Chena, Sri Lanka. Milpa, Africa and Central America. Do not treat these as random vocabulary. These are region term matches, and UPSC loves exactly that format. Now to timber wealth. These forests are more open than equatorial rainforests, but that does not make them less important. In fact, they yield valuable and durable hardwoods. The key species here is teak, often called the king of timber because of its value in shipbuilding and furniture. And the high yield fact you must retain is this: Burma produces about 3/4 of the world's supply of teak. Other important species include rosewood, sal, acacia, and bamboo. So remember the contrast clearly. Equatorial forests are denser and more chaotic. Tropical marine forests are relatively more open and commercially more usable for timber. Now lock the revision in one clean frame. Location: eastern coasts between 10 degrees and 25 degrees north and south, under trade wind influence. Rainfall: around 120 to 200 centimeters with no distinct dry season, and that is the key difference from monsoon. Economy: sugarcane in Brazil and Cuba, coffee in Brazil, hemp in the Philippines. Hazards: prone to cyclones and typhoons. Now here's your homework. Take a blank world map and mark every tropical east coast shown here. Then beside each one, write just 4 words: trade winds, summer maximum, no dry season, storm risk. If you can do that without hesitation, you will not confuse tropical marine with tropical monsoon again, and you will be exam ready.